What is your favorite fact about history? Fact 1. It can be funny, disturbing, or anything in between. My personal favorite fact is this guy named Ivan the Cabbage. He was Emperor of Bulgaria and started life out as a simple peasant. By 1277, man had an entire army of angry peasants, and Emperor Constantine was having none of it and attempt to put down the rebellion. Ivan is said to have personally killed the emperor in the combat. He then stomped Mongol raiders in northern Bulgaria and defended against the Byzantines after marrying the emperor's second wife. TL. Doctor some peasant kills and becomes the Bulgarian emperor, bangs the guy's wife, then kills Mongols and Byzantines. Fact 2. In France, during WW1, prostitutes would charge more money if they had syphilis. That's because a soldier contracting the disease would get 1 month off to the hospital, escaping the harsh conditions of the trenches. Fact 3. The first known formal religious debate, organized by the Mongols, ended thusly. Finally, as the effects of the alcohol became stronger, the Christians gave up trying to persuade anyone with logical arguments and resorted to singing. The Muslims, who did not sing, responded by loudly reciting the Quran in an effort to drown out the Christians, and the Buddhists retreated into silent meditation. Fact 4. That Thailand offered to send elephants to the USA during their Civil War. Lincoln declined on the basis that steam engines would make the elephants more trouble than they were worth, but was extremely grateful and deferential in his reply nonetheless. Fact 5. Thailand, then Siam, participated in WW1 when it was coming to an end. Sent troops to France for training. By the time they would finish their training, war was officially over. 19 soldiers lost lives, all to disease, except one other who died before reaching France. Siam became one if the League of Nations, participated in Peace Treaty, Victory March, and was awarded with confiscated German submarines. Peas. Serbia lost so many people that it could never recover. Different nation, different fates. Fact 6. Can you imagine how badass the Battle of Atlanta mural would be if Sherman was riding atop a fucking war elephant? Fact 7. The fact that Aeschylus, the ancient Greek playwright, apparently died because an eagle mistook his bald head for a stone and let a tortoise fall onto his head. They do that to crack open the tortoise to be able to eat it, but it seems this time the tortoise won. Fact 8. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, King George V of England, and Tsar Nicholas II of Russia were all first cousins. They were all grandchildren of Queen Victoria. Kaiser Wilhelm famously said about World War I, "If my grandmother had been alive, she would never have allowed it." Fact 9. There was a mosaic uncovered in Pompeii that reads Cave Canem, which directly translates to "Beware of the dog." Something about the specificity of that really gets me when I think about it. Such a seemingly minor thing, but a direct connection of the modern world to the world of 2,000 years ago. It would be like finding an ancient no toga, no sandals, no service sign. Fact 10. Basically everything about the Bavarian Socialist Republic. Formed in the tumult following the end of the First World War, its foreign minister was a psychiatric patient who ordered 5 dozen locomotives from Switzerland, then declared war when he was asked how he was going to pay for them. He also once sent Vladimir Lenin an emergency telegram asking him for help because the previous Bavarian head of government had fled during the coup, taking the toilet door keys with him.
Fact 11. In the early 1900s, the Greek Navy was going around to all the tiny, isolated islands shortly after Greek independence was gained. A seaman was standing in a town square and was a little confused by the looks he was getting from a child. The child said, "What are you?" "Well, I'm Greek, like you." "No," the child said, "we're Roman." Long after the fall of Byzantium, and 1400 some odd years after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, and people were still identifying as Roman. My grandmother was alive when the Roman Empire finally, fully disappeared. Blows my mind. Fact 12. In 1913, Josip Broz Tito, age 21, Adolf Hitler, age 24, Leon Trotsky, age 34, and Joseph Stalin, age 35, all lived in Vienna. Sigmund Freud, age 57, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand, age 50, were also living in the city at the same time. While Stalin had gone there specifically to visit Trotsky, it seems like none of the others knew each other at the time. So it's very interesting they were all living in that same city in that same year. I feel like it would be a plot for a weird sitcom. LOL. Fact 13. Lao Ai, a Chinese servant in Qin during the Warring States period. He had an affair with the Queen Dowager Zhao, and was then arranged to be her eunuch to make it convincing. However, the castration was false, and he actually had a penis that was such a size it could be used as a carriage axle. As time went on, he fathered 2 children and gathered a following in the thousands. There was a royal proclamation he was an impostor eunuch and attempted to coup and father the next king of Qin. However, he was quickly stopped and dismembered by 5 horses. Now that I think about it, he's pretty much Chinese Rasputin. Fact 14. The Silk Road was so safe in the times of the Mongol Empire that a maiden laden with gold could travel it and go unmolested. They even planted a bunch of trees so it would be pretty and there would be shade. They also made travel so much easier and streamlined by burning down entire towns they deemed unnecessary. Fact 15. The US considered dyeing Mount Fuji black as psychological warfare against the Japanese in WWI. Fact 16. When the Roman Colosseum was built in 80 AD, the Great Pyramid of Giza was 700 years older than the Colosseum is now. That is, the Colosseum has currently been standing for 1,900 years, but when it was built, the Great Pyramid had already been standing for 2,600 years. The Romans considered the pyramids to be every bit the ancient enigmas that we do.